Hello, and welcome to Calm Chronicles. Tonight, we are not just traveling through time, but through a dream. Close your eyes for a moment and picture a vast, sun-baked plain. The air is warm, and the earth is the color of old gold. This is Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization, but rising from the flat, dusty landscape is something impossible. A green mountain, built by human hands. Terraces upon terraces of lush gardens, overflowing with trees, vines, and fragrant flowers. Climbing towards the sky like a stairway to paradise. This is the legend of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. For centuries, it held its place as one of the seven wonders of the ancient world. A masterpiece of engineering and botany, a testament to a king's love. But this wonder has a secret. Of all the seven wonders, it is the only one that we cannot find. Join us as we quietly search for this lost paradise and ask the gentle question, did the Hanging Gardens of Babylon truly exist? Our story begins in the 6th century BC, in the mighty city of Babylon, the greatest city in the world. It is ruled by the powerful king Nebuchadnezzar II. He is a builder, a conqueror, a man who commands empires. The story, as told by later Greek historians, is one of romance. The king had married a queen named Amytis, who came from the green, mountainous land of Media in modern-day Iran. But Queen Amytis was homesick. She missed the cool air of her homeland. She missed the rolling hills and the scent of green leaves. The flat, hot plains of Babylon made her heart ache. Nebuchadnezzar, devoted to his queen, decided to do the impossible. If he could not take his wife to the mountains, he would bring the mountains to her. And so, he commanded the construction of a wonder. Ancient writers, like Strabo and Philo of Byzantium, described it with awe. They wrote of a structure built on massive stone arches, a series of ascending terraces like a giant, stepped pyramid. Each terrace was filled with a deep layer of soil, deep enough for large trees to take root. They described exotic plants and flowers from all over the known world, vines draped from one terrace to the next, creating waterfalls of green. It was, they said, a theater of nature. But the true marvel was the water. How do you water a mountain in the middle of a desert? Babylon was a dry land. The legends speak of an ingenious, hidden system. A series of machines, perhaps chain pumps, or a new invention called the Archimedes screw, operated day and night by unseen workers. This machine would lift water from the nearby Euphrates River, up and up and up to the very highest terrace. From there, the water would flow down in small, artificial streams, nourishing every plant, every flower, every leaf. Imagine the sight. An oasis suspended in the air, a cool green sanctuary, shimmering above the scorching city, a testament to a king's love and the height of human ingenuity. This is the image that has captivated the world for millennia. But a story, no matter how beautiful, must eventually meet the test of time. For centuries, archaeologists and adventurers have searched. They have dug into the dusty mounds of modern-day Iraq, uncovering the foundations of ancient Babylon. They found the foundations of Nebuchadnezzar's immense palace. They found the spectacular Ishtar Gate, its blue-glazed bricks still vibrant, decorated with lions and dragons. They found the king's own records, clay tablets, stamped with cuneiform script. On these tablets, Nebuchadnezzar boasted of all his great achievements. He wrote about his temples, his palace, the mighty walls he built to protect his city. But of the gardens, there is nothing, not a single mention. Not one tablet, not one brick. How could a king, so proud of his works, fail to mention his greatest masterpiece? The one wonder that would make his city famous forever? The silence is as vast as the desert itself. No Babylonian text ever mentions the Hanging Gardens. The historians who did describe them, like Strabo, lived centuries after Nebuchadnezzar. They had never seen the gardens themselves. They were repeating stories they had heard. And so, the doubt began to grow. Was it all just a beautiful myth? A traveler's tall tale that grew more elaborate with each telling? For a long time, it seemed so. A dream that faded upon waking. Kisa bir duraklama. Music, bir çözüm veya umut hissi verecek şekilde değişir. But the story does not end there. In recent years, a new, compelling theory has emerged from a scholar named Dr. Stephanie Daly. She asked a different question. What if we have been searching in the wrong place? Her research points us not to Babylon, but 300 miles north, to a different city, a different empire, and a different king. The city was Nineveh, the capital of the Assyrian Empire, and the king was Sennacherib, a fearsome warrior, but also, like Nebuchadnezzar, a magnificent builder. Sennacherib lived about 100 years before Nebuchadnezzar, and unlike the king of Babylon, Sennacherib loved to boast about his garden. In his own royal records, he describes in great detail a palace without rival. He speaks of building a wonder for all peoples. He wrote of how he brought water to the city from distant mountains, using a massive stone aqueduct, an engineering marvel that you can still see parts of today. He described how he used new technology, bronze water-raising screws, to water his high terraces. And in the ruins of his palace at Nineveh, archaeologists found something remarkable. Stone carvings, known as reliefs. These reliefs show his palace, and next to it, a stunning, tiered garden, trees and vines growing on a structure built on high arches. It is exactly as the Greek writers later described. So, could it be? Could the Hanging Gardens of Babylon have actually been the Hanging Gardens of Nineveh? The confusion is understandable. After the Assyrians conquered Babylon, their capital city of Nineveh was sometimes called New Babylon. It is possible that centuries later, Greek historians and soldiers heard the stories of this magnificent garden and simply confused the two cities. They merged the engineering wonder of Sennacherib with the legendary fame of Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon. Perhaps the Hanging Gardens of Babylon were never in Babylon at all. Tonight, the true location remains a quiet mystery. But whether they were a dream or a reality in Nineveh, or a romantic story lost to time, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon live on. They live on as an idea that, even in the harshest of lands, we can create beauty. An idea that ingenuity can make the impossible possible. And an idea that, sometimes, the greatest things we build are not for war or for fame, but for peace and for love. Thank you for joining us on the Calm Chronicles. We hope this story has brought you a moment of rest. Until next time, sleep well.